you're new to getting some support and you're in this murky world of figuring out how much do I pay an assistant, episode 247 is definitely for you. Hello and welcome to episode 247 of My TV. My name is Emma Mills and I help business owners just like you who are going from solopreneur through to thriving, ambitious team because you want to get as many things off your list as possible and onto somebody else's so you can focus on the fun stuff. And today I am going to tackle the murky world. Is it murky? Actually, it's probably just confusing world of how much to pay your assistant. By the end of this video, I'm going to go through 3 different scenarios, 3 different pay grades, if you like, of what you can consider as support solutions, how they fit into you and your business, and which are the right ones for you. 5 minutes of pure VA gold. At some point in your career as a solopreneur or growing business, your ears will be pricked up to the solution that is virtual assistants and the most profound and amazing impact that they can have on your life, how much you earn, and most importantly, how much fun you have on the journey, because we know if you're doing everything yourself, it is pretty hard work. Today I'm going to capture the 3 different main options you have as a business owner, where they fit in with you and your journey, how much you can expect to pay them, and what you should be prepared to deliver to them to support them as they support you. Okay, so in option 1, I am putting together much more transactional, I think, support for you. So this is where, and I'm going to talk about what the price range is in here, but I'm also going to talk about what it looks like as support for you, because there's definitely different elements of effort from you in my different stages. So in option 1, you're going to be really specific and clear on the brief on what needs to happen and the how and the why. And for these kind of tasks, you're generally going to use sites like Upwork, People Per Hour, online sites where you can get freelancers to do things for you all over the world, and for generally very cheap rates. Like I've got clients that get things done for $5 an hour. This also encapsulates VA industry, which is absolutely massive and so fundamental and helpful to so many business owners in the Philippines. So in this category 1, you can expect rates to be from between $5 and $10, which is absolutely amazing and fantastic to get really high volume transactional things done. I would say to anyone that is looking to hire some support in this area is that for in the $5 to $10 per hour category, you're going to have to be crystal clear in what you want and what good looks like. This is not about hiring someone to necessarily, and it's going to be hard to not be too generalist on it, because I know that there are exceptions in all of these and there are really great PA support in that, but generally if you want someone to solve problems, come up with their own processes of how to do things, solve problems for you, this is not the option for you. This is fantastic for high volume, repeatable, process driven tasks that have a very, very clear what good looks like. We use it here at My PA as well for internal admin. Option 1, fantastic for getting stuff done where there is absolutely no room for confusion, or there is really clear clarity on what needs to get done. So from you as a business owner, for me, when you are using this kind of support, you need to do some of the work as well. You need to record processes or Loom videos or have clear instructions on what you want to get done and how they do it. So as long as you are prepared for more effort in the beginning to deliver to them what they need to get done, option 1 is a fantastic solution for most business owners. In some way, they'll have tasks that fall into this bucket. Option 2 is VA PA support, and for me in this category, solutions are most often found in your local networking meeting. They're often individual freelance PAs, which is what I was when I first started My PA. I worked on my own for the first 5 years, building up my own client base. They're generally self-employed or maybe have a franchise, but they are individuals that deliver the support for you. And in category 2 for these VAs, I'd say the most often the hourly rate is between £15 to up to £25 an hour. That's what you can expect to pay. And the cost is important to a business owner, but it isn't the number one thing, because what we're looking to do here is leverage your time so that you can focus on the fun stuff get the important stuff done, go home and see the kids and earn more money and use your hours better. So I'm not saying any of these is better than the other, but in the middle section we've got individual, freelance VAs, generally £15 to £25 an hour. And the key thing here is in this kind of support, you're generally going to get more problem solving, but the two key things to ask any freelance or individual virtual assistant is number one, what happens when you're away or when you're on holiday, or if you're, God forbid, sick. Like if you are supporting me, what happens in those times? Because if you don't ask that question up front, you're going to be holding the task when the person's not available to do it. What happens if you get too busy? Because a lot of virtual assistant work is reactive, and as much as we try with our clients, you get a lot of reactive work coming through. So these are really smart questions to ask, like, I'd love to get started, I think we're gonna have a good relationship, but if you can't do the work, is there a backup plan? What will happen? Who will do it? And the second question to ask is, what do they think is like their absolute sweet spot of where they can add the most value? What is their skill set? What is the thing that they are really, really good at? Because the one big misconception that most people have with a virtual assistant is that they are a generalist and they are absolutely amazing at everything. And that's just not true. It wasn't true for myself. When I was a PA, my sweet spot was organization, diary, inbox, coordinating events and things happening. Like that was my real sweet spot, a kind of a project management organizational, and every single VA will have their own. So the big misconception is to have one person who's able to do everything, while most PAs, VAs will be like, absolutely, I'll give it a go, no problem. That's our mentality. They will have strengths that you will be able to work to if you ask the question. Expecting one person to be able to do everything amazingly well is definitely an urban legend in the virtual assistant world, because while you'll have people that can do a lot of it really well, they won't be able to do everything really well. In fact, fun fact, as an aside, Elon Musk had a PA for 12 years. She was called Mary Beth. The story goes that she left in her 12th year of employment with him, and this was, at this point, he didn't have Tesla. His business's profile was growing. He still had PayPal, but as he was growing, he realized that he needed specialists. And he didn't need one generalist, which is what Mary Beth was. And I don't know whether he pushed her or whether she left or what happened there, but the story is that she left and that role was filled with, clearly she was doing a lot of things, 4 or 5 other people then took over those roles because he needed absolute specialists. The businesses were getting way more complex. And so a generalist can take you so far, but certainly when you start working with someone, and generally they'll be in a local area to you, you'll be able to meet up with them, or it's someone that you've met locally, or that's the most common thing that happens. So in this sector of VA support, you really, really want to hone in on what are the tasks that absolutely like bring you joy? What are you best at? Because it might not match with actually the need that you have. Having someone whose real skill set is inbox and diary management, and your actual need is really great fancy social media posts going out every week and optimizing your social media profiles, well, the two don't match up. So be sure to ask that question. But in this self-employed VA PA in the UK, it's between £15 to £25 we're looking at. Option 3, I'm looking at larger VA PA companies who've got resource, a larger team, support, their own methodologies. I'm putting my PA into this bracket as well. Generally the hourly rate here is from, I would most likely expect the £30 to potentially up to the £45 mark. That is most common, just to give you a guideline on it. But the key thing again, it's not about getting the cheapest, it's not about getting the most bang for your buck in terms of like number of hours for how much you're paying. It's about, okay, how much legwork do you want to put in up front? Because if you've got problems that you just need someone to solve, option 1 is probably not where you're going to be doing it, getting someone on Upwork to solve it. If you need someone that can have best practice, they might have more resilience, so you might have a dedicated PA, but then if that person's away, that there's cover and support. If you want somebody to be able to go, don't worry, let me take your inbox off you, I'll create a process on how to manage this in the best way. Or if you need somebody to be more of a thinker, more initiative, have more resource, have an in-source team, as we call it at MyPA. So we don't talk about outsourcing, we talk about in-sourcing, because we just want to be a part of your business, and that's how we want you to treat us, and vice versa, is that we're just a part of your business. Then you want to be thinking about how much energy are you putting into this, because certainly there is less energy to put in on the higher rate VA, PA companies, because they'll be able to do more of the thinking, more of the legwork, and take that away from you. But the key to all of this is not about how cheap you can get something or how expensive something is. It's what are you going to do in the time that you have back from delegating. So whether you're giving a process-driven task to a $10 an hour Upwork person, or whether you have got £40 an hour PA who's managing your inbox and keeping all of the communication away from you so you can focus on the good stuff. Again, no matter which solution you use, it's about that if I pay for 10 hours of VA support and I get the 10 hours back, what am I doing with those 10 hours? Have they frittered by while I'm scrolling on my phone, or have I gone home early and seen the kids, or have I actually started to craft emails to send to my list, or go to a networking event where I'm going to meet some new prospects, or I'm ringing up my old prospects to take them out for lunch? Or like, how much value are you bringing to the 10 hours? That for me is the key every single time. It's not about how cheap or how expensive something is. It's about getting the right support to make your life easier, and then with the time you get back, you be so discerning about how you use it, that it returns 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times over. That is the key to getting the right support behind you. I hope this week's episode of My TV has got your head out of the dirt and into the clouds, because up in the clouds is where you enjoy the journey, and that's how it should be for all of us. And I will see you next week for episode 248. I'll see you then. Bye bye.